Hi, it's Dwyer, gamblersadvisory.com. Just remember, the opinion you should follow should be your own. Just consider this video to be a second opinion from a complete stranger online. I admit I didn't know much about Tony Bellew when, on the eve of the Jurgen Bremer Nathan Cleverly fight, it looked like Bellew was going to be an opponent for Cleverly once Bremer, of course, self-imploded yet again. Bellew had a certain bluster about him, had a certain confidence, seemed to be disrespecting Cleverly. Now, I'm a Cleverly skeptic. People know, I'll praise fighters, James DeGale, Frankie Gavin. I'll praise fighters when I think they're underrated, and I'll criticize fighters who I think are making mistakes, giving away natural advantages in the ring. And I'm on record as saying I'm a Cleverly skeptic. I view Cleverly as beatable. And for those of you who don't know, Cleverly is one of the light heavyweight champions, right? I don't view Cleverly on the same level, quite frankly, in the same area code as I view Bernard Hopkins, Chad Dawson, who I still maintain is one of boxing's elite talents, Jean Pascal, Tavares Cloud. I think all of those guys, if they want a payday, can travel to the UK and beat Nathan Cleverly. So when I saw this Tony Bellew guy calling out Nathan Cleverly, I thought, wow, this guy might know something we don't know. This guy might have the goods. He might be a fighter who just wants an opportunity. This might be like a scene out of Rocky III. A deserving contender saying to the champ, I'm here, give me a shot. Your originally scheduled fight dissolved. I'm here. I'll take the fight on short notice. So I was very eager when I sat down and started looking at Tony Bellew tapes. I was hoping this guy was going to make a very loaded light heavyweight division that much more fun, that much more loaded. He seemed to have the gift of gab. Now I wanted to find out if he had the gift of fight. And I got to be as blunt as possible. I was disappointed. I was not that impressed with Tony Bellew. I'm a Tony Bellew skeptic, right? The skepticism's all over the place. He's fighting Ovill McKenzie in a rematch of a fight he won by 8th round KO. So you can imagine how shocked I was looking at their first fight and seeing Tony Bellew get hit with a right hand in the very first round and hit the canvas. Then, of course, we get to the second round. Tony Bellew is still carrying his left too low. McKenzie, an ambush fighter. In other words, he's not there to fight you in a sustained manner. He's outside your range. He's just circling you, looking for opportunities to jump in, right? By contrast, Bellew is a cautious stalker. In other words, he's coming forward. He's trying to walk you down. The problem, though, is that he's not that fast afoot. He's just not the kind of guy who can cut off the ring, who can track you down, right? He's moving, in my opinion, in slow motion. Also, I just didn't see blinding hand speed. I know his nickname is the Bomber. I also didn't see devastating punching power. So you can imagine my shock when in the second round, Tony Bellew gets hit again with a right hand and goes down. Quite frankly, I thought that first fight was up in the air. I never saw a time in that first fight where Tony Bellew started to assert himself. And I thought the stoppage in the 8th round, and this video's up on YouTube, I would encourage everyone to take a look at it. I thought the stoppage in the 8th round was premature. Yes, McKenzie does get knocked down. But McKenzie gets back up. He's coherent. The referee allows the fight to continue. Bellew comes over. Given that McKenzie had knocked down Bellew twice in the fight, you would think the referee would at least give McKenzie an opportunity to kind complete the round. And of course, the referee then prematurely, in my opinion, stopped that fight. I would have been curious to have found out how the judges had scored it up to that point. So I have questions about almost every aspect of Bellew's game. His defense with that low left hand that you could shoot rights over, I think that's a problem. And I don't think that that's by design since he hit the canvas twice against McKenzie. Right? The foot speed, I'll tell you, look at the film. It's dramatic, the difference between McKenzie and Bellew's foot speed. In other words, Bellew looks like he's in cement, moving around the ring at a glacial pace. The only heavyweight on par with him would be Nikolai Valuev, right? Also, the punching power, let's just say, while he does catch McKenzie in the 8th round, before then, if you asked me who was the bomber, without me knowing, I'd be hard-pressed to tell you. So my recommendation, and I know Bellew is favored in this fight, the rematch against McKenzie, I feel that this fight's as up for grabs as the last fight. My recommendation is to take the under 9.5 rounds because McKenzie, as an ambush fighter who knows he can land that right hand, I believe is just going to be going for the knockout, right? He knows he can knock Bellew down. He's just going to be going for the knockout. And Bellew, who knocked McKenzie down with the left hand, I believe because he got the knockout last time, and because neither of these guys is going to be confused with Floyd Mayweather, right? You're not talking about very high-level boxing ability, and I know I'm sounding hard in this video, but hey, if I'm going to praise guys, I'm also going to criticize guys, right? Because neither of these guys is a gifted boxer, I don't think either of them is going to be relying on the judges. I think somebody gets a knockout in this fight. I like the under 9.5 rounds. And let me just say, I'm surprised after the first fight that either of these guys is favored in this one. Take a look at the first fight from start to finish. Ask yourself the simple question of who had the upper hand and why. And if you can't give yourself a clear response, then that tells me that this fight should have gone off as even money. Let me know what you think. My recommendation is to take the under in this fight. Let me know what you think. Leave your comments for me here on YouTube and visit us at gamblersadvisory.com. Thanks for watching.